Whether it's tackling a Rubik's Cube or Pascal's triangle, for mathematician Richard Hoshino, solving a problem requires two things.
One is imagination, and the other is daring. B, and then how do I get this? Imagination that I do not need to force myself to think of the same tried and true methods that I've been doing this whole time. Is there a way that I can break these preconceived boundaries of how this problem has been solved before, as well as the daring to actually go ahead and implement that?
It's this unconventional mind and method of problem solving that has taken Richard around the world. While he was always good with numbers, it was thanks to a grade 7 math teacher teaching the then Toronto student to look behind the numbers that helped spawn his mathematics career.
Showed for me how this subject was more than memorizing rules and equations and formulas, but a subject at its core was about patterns and problem solving.
From that day forward, the math whiz spent day and night solving any problem he could get his hands on. Along with eventually competing, as well winning a personal silver medal at the International Math Olympiad in India in 1996, the university grad spent 5 years working as the only Canadian mathematician for the Canadian Border Services Agency, along with being hired to design a touring schedule for the Japanese Professional Baseball League using mathematical methods similar to this one.
I had noticed that the Professional Baseball League in my hometown had an incredibly inefficient schedule where they were traveling across this tiny island country, but in probably the worst possible way to play all of its games. What I'm doing is to find the number of routes that go from here to here. I'm breaking it into a bunch of smaller problems of figuring out how many routes are there from here to here that go through this line. Add them together, and once I do that, it comes out to be exactly what I'm looking for.
For Richard, being able to make large-scale changes to how global companies and services run has now inspired him to teach the next generation of the excitement and opportunities of the mathematical world.
So what we have to do is multiply two different events that neither of us win in round one, multiplied by the probability of you winning in round two.
The outgoing academic, spending the last 2 years teaching hands-on mathematics courses here at Squamish's Quest University, as well as self-publishing his first book, The Math Olympian, earlier this year, chronicling a young girl's own journey to compete at the International Math Olympiads.
I've always wanted a career with the hope of making an impact in the lives of young people, with the hope that they'll learn to see this subject the way I do. Instead of adding everything column-wise, let's look at everything row-wise. What I see from these students is this rage to master, this hunger for not wanting to stop at understanding an answer, but understanding the reason for which something is true.
Is that right?
That's absolutely right. And when I see them take these ideas and go beyond what I'm able to teach to solve problems on the issues that they care about, for a teacher, it's the most satisfying feeling.
We're really fortunate to have them. Our goal at Quest in the math that we teach is really to have students be in the center of the problem-solving process rather than memorizing facts and repeating information. And Richard is just excellent for helping facilitate that kind of opportunity and experience for students.
With Richard teaching a different class each month, with more and more students, especially women, now pursuing a career in the industry, having his marker keep up with his brain remains his biggest challenge. And while some may tire of a lifetime staring at X's and question marks, for this mathematician, there's nothing more beautiful.
What's so exciting for me as a mathematician solving real-life problems is the ability to make connections between something messy, something complex, something difficult, into something that, if I just draw the right picture, into something that's incredibly easy, simple, and beautiful. It's quite exciting.
In Squamish, I'm Vanessa Ybarra for Go On Shaw TV.